out here trying to get a husband. You're out here trying to get a Christmas number one. We ain't on the same page.
But didn't Kwame beat him to it? My dick long lock placenta. Let me put it in your denture.
Oh my God, no.
Them lyrics, Kwame, if you're watching this, them lyrics, you're a dirty, dirty boy, okay?
Oh, I mean, the shock value. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Oh, sorry. Hi guys. Welcome to episode 4.
4 and just after 3.
Check the mic out of how I speak. I can't say 3 apparently, and the way I say 4 is now an issue.
So today we're going to talk about all things post MAFS, after MAFS. So we're going to run through. We did a little Q&A, didn't we, ages ago?
Yeah.
So we've written down all the questions that we want to answer, and we're going to run through. We'll try and cover as many topics as we can. Because you guys asked loads of questions to do with. And to be honest, there's a lot to cover. So let's get cracking.
So we may as well kick it off straight from vow renewals. Hit us. What went down?
So we did vow renewals, which were amazing. And then obviously we went home. And then me and Jenna would see each other, but not, from what I can remember, we saw each other quite a lot. But she obviously works Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we both kind of went home and then just went back to our lives kind of thing and just saw each other when we could. But it's weird going to work and like seeing friends that you haven't seen for ages. A lot of them, you've disappeared off the face of the earth. And then you're just like back in everyone's life and can't tell them where you've been. Yeah. And then it's weird knowing, the weirdest thing for me was knowing that it's about to come on TV and you've got this big massive secret and you can't tell anyone.
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously my experience after
vow
renewals is a little bit, very much different. So actually that day we filmed vow renewals, I actually went back to Jordan's. Start as I meant to go on. And so that was nice. And then following that, you know someone's vibe, don't you? You know if someone's not fully into it. Like, he wasn't making an effort to really want to see me. He did come down to Derby. He did calm down at one point, but I felt like that was a lot of effort for him to do so, and it kind of more come from me wanting to do it.
Yeah. And
then communication, like he would take like 8 hours or something mad to reply to me, or just, and I'm like, I get people are busy, don't get me wrong, I don't expect you to message me within seconds, but also at the same time when you've told me your day, I kind of know you had 2 seconds just to message or just say I'm really busy, I can't speak. So that was difficult, and like you say, having this person that you can't really speak about. Obviously I could speak to my bridesmaids because they were aware, and like I'd open up to them, but it was difficult, and
it's also a bit different I think for you, because like for us it was good because we left the process, and like then we knew that the reunion was going to come, and me and Jenna knew that we was going to be walking in there together. So like for us it was just, it was dark, but for you obviously the communication had kind of dropped a little bit, and then you two had kind of called things off in between that, and then you know that we've got to go back and film the reunion. So how long in between?
So I actually counted from the vow renewals, it was like 26 days, because I remember saying to him like, well done, because he just didn't want to put the effort in. That's fine, like you feel how you feel at the end of the day, it's just about communicating that. So I'd rather him say, but it actually took me to question him. He's like, no, it's fine. And then was on FaceTime, which is quite embarrassing for me to say this. We was on FaceTime, and I was like, look, there's something different, we need to talk. So we did the call, and I was like, do you want to be with me or not? And he just went, fine, I don't want to be with you. And that that was a lot. And then I was quite upset, and then he was like, I don't get why you're upset. Like, I don't get why you're so upset. Because I think in his mind, he thought I wasn't fully in it, but I was, and I was telling him, and like, I'm like, well, if that's the case, I wouldn't be asking when we could see each other. I wouldn't be trying to push for that, because you'd never, and this is something I've learned, if a guy don't want to see you, you know it, because if a guy wants to see you, or a woman wants to see you, they make effort, even if it's a coffee, just something. So when you're like, oh, make plans, and they're not making plans, or I'm busy, or oh yeah, soon, or you just know, they're not interested. No. So going to the reunion was a bit nerve-wracking, as in I felt all different emotions. I felt embarrassed. I felt really sad that it'd come to an end. You were like the golden couple as well, so like, you know, everyone had these big high hopes that, you know, you were going to be, and so I think that added pressure of like, you've gone through the vow renewals, and like, you know, for some of the other couples, I think some of the vow renewals were a case of being a bit of a formality, that everyone thought, they're probably not going to make it to the reunion. I think, but with you two, I think it was a huge shock for everyone to be like, when you walked in on your own. Which also, I mean, I've been to Ibiza with Jordan, and me and you have been to Park Life, we've done loads of stuff together. And so when we filmed the reunion, obviously I had to pretend that it was the first. So when they walked in, I was like, oh, no, they're not together. I can't believe it. But literally, I'd seen you about 5 minutes before. So yeah, that must have been tough. It was really difficult, and that's why I cried when I walked in, because I just felt so overwhelmed, like all these emotions going back into that scenario, the situation of us being in that experiment. I kind of got them feelings again. We're in the room with these people that we went through it. I ain't seen Jordan. I'm going to see Jordan first time after that. Like, it was a lot, and all the emotions came rushing, and that's why when I walked in the room and I've seen everyone, I just burst out crying. Yeah. I mean, it's understandable. It's a lot to deal with. But then it's good though that you got it, guys. We're together, walked in hand in hand. So it was me and, was it April and George? We're the only couples that walked in together. I mean, really, it was just you and Jenna. That was the only couple that actually walked in together. Yeah, because I split up, didn't they, a few days after, I think. Did they? Someone said they split up before the reunion. I think they got back together for the reunion. Well, not they got back together for the reunion. Back for the reunion. I think they got back together coincidentally when the reunion was. So they've tried again, but it didn't work, and then they've ended it after. Yes. Yeah. Imagine the only couple walks in, you two, but that is the reality of it. It's only you two. And do you know what? Don't get me wrong. That came with its own added pressure. Like, you know, I remember we're kind of skipping around a little bit here, but I remember when it was on TV, and that pressure of us being the only couple together was like, it was a huge weight to carry, and I think that it was overwhelming to be like. Everyone was like, no pressure, and you're just like, no fucking pressure. There was a lot. So on the flip side, you know, obviously it's a painful thing for you to be on your own, and there's a lot of pressure for you, because I think a lot of people wanted it to work out for you. But I think that there was an element of pressure on me and Jenna and it put me on a complete water. I think that for quite a long time I really, really struggled, and it had a massive impact on our relationship. That once. It wasn't until we just kind of stripped it back, and I was just like, I've got to film. Some space. That we were obviously, something changed, and we're obviously really, really, really strong now. But that was obviously due to me. So, everyone's aware we're going on Married at First Sight. We're going to marry a stranger. Oh. It's out there. Your face is in every paper. Well, no, because before that, we all have we get appointed somebody from Channel 4, don't we? That we all get a designated person. I think mine was called Susan. And they tell you, I don't know if you can remember, they tell you the day and time that you can put it on your Instagram. And I think it was something like on a Tuesday, and I remember I was covering a site in Wolverhampton, and I was sat on the site. And at 10 o'clock, no one was there. I was just on my own in the site office. And I was covering a site manager. I couldn't even share that moment with anyone. Just sat there, and then they're like, right, 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, you upload this picture.
and then you put this description in saying, so I'm marrying a stranger and whatever. And then that's it, your phone. I remember my phone being there. It's just like my phone, all of my friends and family that I haven't seen for ages, all the people that I went to school with, like everyone just came out of nowhere, didn't they?
Yeah, literally. It's like, whoa. And then you're like, you've had this secret. But you know what? I found that a bit I felt like I had a bit of a different experience to some people when that come out, because when it come out that I was going on it, it was pushed very much that I was a social worker.
Yeah.
So everyone else was like, oh yeah, like it's out there. Whereas there was a newspaper article, the Derby Telegraph and stuff, and Social Work Tutor Group or whatever it was, and they were putting out, social workers going into Married at First Sight. Obviously, social workers don't go on reality TV.
No.
So that gave me a lot of anxiety because I was getting backlash already. So I was thinking, if this already is causing me to have hate, people are viewing me negatively, like I had comments, oh, she's not a good role model, oh, what social work, it was a lot. That really spiked anxiety about actually how will I then be perceived on TV, because social workers already have a bad stigma. People don't really know the role and have a lot to say about them, which isn't usually negative. Although, can I just say, social workers do an amazing job. Mm-hmm. So then I was really scared, like, how am I going to be perceived? Like, what are people going to think of me on the show? I've not even been seen yet. So I was a bit scared. That actually panicked me slightly.
Yeah, because there's an element of you that you feel like you're representing as well. Like, obviously for you were representing, like, that's like a bit of a weight. Just like, I suppose, we were the first lesbian couple. That's like a weight, but like everyone's kind of everyone feels like they're representing in their own sort of way. And so that's a weight. And I think people don't take into consideration that, like, you're kind of trying to set an example for whatever you represent.
Yeah,
do you know
definitely.
what I mean? So, like,
and like being your authentic self, like people, I did an interview earlier and it's like, you go on the show and we were very much true to ourselves. What you see is what you get. We were very authentic. But that's scary as well, because you're giving the public your vulnerabilities. Yeah. And if you are true to yourself and someone says something about you, it's going to hurt a lot more than if you're fake. Because if you were fake, you'd be like, well, that's not funny to me anyway, so haha. Whereas we're true, so when people are saying stuff, it's like, that hurts.
That's it,
so it's a lot to get your head around. And then we've gone through that, obviously, publicity, people pinging off your phone, everyone's like, oh my God, they know. And there's excitement, there's like, oh, and then it comes to, bam, that little gap where, you've kind of been living your life again, but now all of a sudden on E4 there's these adverts where in between you're doing your little shoulder shoulder thing.
When I first saw that, horrendous. And I remember seeing it the first time, I'm like, why did they pick this one out of what is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen?
I don't think they'd choose mine.
It makes me feel like I want to die every time.
But then at the same time, it's like, oh my God, we're on telly.
It's like, and then also, you can't watch anything without like it coming. So like, I remember just like, I'd be watching TV and then it just come up and it'd just be me. And I'm like, I can't, it's too much. It's weird.
And then I'd be like, doing my jig. It was so funny. That was nice when they first started coming out, because we'd all record it for each other and send it like, oh, I've just seen yours, because we didn't know, we was waiting. We don't get like a preview of anything. Really, we've seen our press photos, but I didn't have my glasses on, and if I did, I feel like one of them I wouldn't have chose. So that's the only thing we see. We didn't see them little mini clips in the adverts, and we definitely do not see the show.
Yeah, so let's get to the show. So you don't get a preview of anything that you're about to see. So like, obviously, you were there, so you know what happened. You know what the outcome is, but you don't see the episode. And also, there's that much going on, and a lot of time has passed. You can't really remember what happened or how certain stuff went down. And I remember when we have to see a psychologist beforehand, because obviously you're about to be exposed, and you in the public eye and stuff like that. And we're just average people that we just you're not prepared for that. No. So. You're going on TV, then obviously it's all like a bit of a countdown then, so it's about 2 weeks before it comes on, isn't it? And I remember I had a viewing party of the first episode, which coincidentally was yours and Jordan's wedding.
Yeah.
But I think everybody had their own viewing party. Me and Jenna had separate ones.
So I had one. We were the first episode. It started with us, which was cute. And I had a viewing party. Obviously, that clashed with your viewing party. And everyone kind of did their own little viewing parties for their time. Obviously, as well, we're not together. No one's together other than Zoe and Jenna. So it's funny because actually, because our families got on so well at the wedding, we actually planned to bring both families together to watch it.
Yeah.
So obviously, we was wishful thinking, not expecting my ass to get dumped. So we'd actually planned that, and obviously, yeah. So it was nice then that everyone could do that and have it with their friends.
Yeah.
And even that first episode, my phone was on the table. Bing, bing, bing. My followers were going up. People were messaging me. People knew who I was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. I remember because obviously we'd had a little bit of an introduction. It was like stag do's, hen do's and that. So we'd gone into there. And then ours was the last wedding. And so we had a viewing party. Jenna, I was going to have a viewing party anyway. And then I was like, and then you were coming. And then Jordan said he was coming. And then Tom, Adrian, George came down, PJ, Juka, Jenna was obviously there. Who else came? Soph was there.
Yeah.
Everyone
your
came.
viewing party.
That was good.
That was really good.
Really good.
Annoying though, because it kind of opened the door a little bit for me.
Well, I'll say that I bought a special. So I had a 2-bedroom flat there, and I went out and bought an air bed because the other bed because the bed wasn't free, and I thought Jordan and Chanita could stay on there, so I got my little Cupid arrows out, went out and bought an air bed, and it worked a treat, but then it just ended up making things a whole lot worse.
Yeah, because I gave someone again the benefit of the doubt, and that's the issue with me. I'm too nice to people sometimes, and it blew back in my face because he just showed he's not capable to give me the relationship I need. Yeah. So that was dead and gone. So I mean, you can only try, can't you?
Yeah, that's it. Gave it a whirl,
and yeah, got shut on again. But thanks, Zoe, and that double bed.
So also a question. Yeah. Did you watch every episode?
I did.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to watch every episode because you just do not know what's going to be shown. And like you said earlier, yeah, you live it, and this is what made me and the double bed make stupid decisions, because when you're rewatching the show, it shows you all your best bits, and like it does something to your mind. And I rewatched my wedding, and I was like, oh, and it got me all in my feels, and yeah, not one.
I think for mine and Jenna's journey, like, especially at the start, ours was like rocky. So like to watch it back, it was actually when you aren't together and you watch it back in the cute moments, you're like, oh, it's like that's hard to watch. But for me and Jenna, we were just like, we had an agreement that we said, right, we're gonna have to watch some tough old arguments here. We haven't had the best time. So the tough times, we both said we'll watch it. And we just need to have an agreement where we say, look, it's in the past, it's done, we've dealt with it, we've moved on. But I remember the one time we'd had the arguments when we were in the hot tub. So I can't remember when we were in the hot tub, I think, in Iceland. And she was like, said something about me changing to be vegan. I was like, I told you wanted me to be vegan. She was like, that's in the past, you can't talk about it. And I was like, damn it, I brought in that rule. But yeah, I think like some of the things were hard to watch because obviously there was ups and downs in our journey. So, but we made it out the other side. I mean, if you can get through that journey, you can pretty much get through anything.
Yeah, definitely. And it's mad because you watch yourself and you cringe, or you think, oh my God, why did I say that? Or, oh dear, or, oh, that's annoying, they didn't show this. Like, they didn't show the fact my whole suitcase went missing.
Oh yeah.
My whole suitcase, still to this day. And I've still got a little bit of hope that it'll find, like, there was so much stuff brand new in, I can't even, the thought of it just pains me.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So me having to wear Jordan's clothes while horse riding. Like things like that. And like, I did a funny tarot reading with Jordan, like I did it. And there's just stuff like that. And I'm sure there's memories that you've got. You think, oh, I wish that I'd made it. Or then shown the other side to your relationship. I think as well, watching it is interesting to see people's interviews and what they've said behind your back. Or
and also to see other people's relationships. So when you, Keisha and Kwame are a prime example of this. Keisha is a boss bitch. There is no doubt about it. And when we were in, they were very, they sat back and watched everything that was going on. They didn't really, Kwame would poke his nose in people's business, i.e. your relationship. There's a few things that he would voice his opinion on. And Keisha was very much in control of the situation. She wore the boots. She was just like, she was in control of that relationship, and she called the shots. And then when you watched it back, whether or not this is editing or how it went down, it didn't seem like that at the honeymoon. It seemed like Keisha was hungry. Yeah. And I don't think that she was. I think that potentially it was like an edit. But you see a completely different story. Oh my God,
yeah, definitely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Like, the relationship you remember and the relationship you've watched, you're like, whoa. Yeah. And I suppose that is like April and George as well. Like, we knew April and George didn't always bring their shit to the couch. Like, we'd be like, come on guys, spit it out, actually be true and speak about it, because they very much were like, we deal with it within ourselves.
Yeah.
But then like you watch like honeymoon and stuff and you're like, oh, okay, or like some of their fallouts, and you think back.
What about when George, can I just say? What about that? When George, so George and April had an argument, right? And George was like, that's it, I've had enough. And you see him walking off into the distance with the fucking hand luggage, right? And you're thinking, mate, what have you got in there? A pair of headphones? If you was leaving this hotel, you will be. So they've obviously got a prop. Well, if you can't walk off to the airport and not take them to, use this is why I carry the lights in.
He's got more fucking luggage than I am.
And it's like, yeah, that's true actually.
I've been happy for that small suitcase. Yeah, but no, defo, like, watching it, you're like, whoa, okay. Didn't really see that. And I suppose that's a bit like with the Keisha and Kwame, the bench. Because at that time, do you remember, everyone was a bit like, what's happened? What's going on?
Yeah.
And no one really had a true idea, because like you said, they were quite private as well. And then you watch it and you're like, no, did that go down like that? Because
that's wild. And also Richie and Laura, because you know, Richie, I remember one of the first weeks when Richie and Laura went and sat on the sofa, and they were like just all over each other, man. They looked proper in love, and I remember being like, oh.
Yeah, I remember that. They were cute.
They were cute. And then when you watch it back and you see, I remember thinking that it was a completely different dynamic so when you watched it, you realised that she was being held, she wasn't holding.
Oh my God, no, don't. I literally, that haunted me watching that, because I'll be honest, out of everyone, Richie is someone that I did not feel I wanted to be around in the nicest way possible.
Yeah.
I'll be civil to him, but he's, out of everyone, did not like his vibe. There's a vibe, and I just weren't here for it. Yeah. Watching him on TV, well, not even watching him on TV, actually, in real life, he used to make comments about me to Jordan, and I thought, you're rude. And then the way he held Lara that day on the sofa, because he was so worried about what Lara would say in regards to the truth of their relationship, he wouldn't let her go. No. To the point, I was like, God forbid, like, she has her own space. It was giving me, I was going to say, well, I won't say what I was going to say.
What was you going to say?
I was going to say
it's the honesty box.
I was going to say it's giving me perpetrator vibes. It was giving me perpetrator vibes. It was. No, it's not funny. It was. You do not grip someone like that.
No.
You know what I'm talking about. That commitment ceremony. You do not hold someone like that. But that's control.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, like, from our point of view, when we was looking in on it, it looked like it was consensual, and she was all over him and he was all over her. At the beginning, but then, you know, when it was what commitment ceremony was it? It might have been their last one. They did too. No, because the first one, they were all over each other and we were like, oh, that's
Okay, that's how much it flipped. The second one, like this. And she went like this, looked uncomfortable. I remember her looking at me and I was like, whoa, like he needs to let go. And I even said it. I said it on the couch. I was like, that's not okay. And when I watched back and he was playing up for the camera, you know, doing them weird faces and how old are you? Like 50? Why are you acting like that?
Yeah.
And then I think you didn't go on for genuine reasons because you're playing up for the camera, and actually the person I watched on camera and the reality are two different. And I know he's done other TV shows and that, but it just really made me question his authenticity.
I remember when he said, I said, have you done other TV shows? Everyone's thought, because a few people on there have done other TV shows before.
Yeah.
And
which
obviously,
is mad.
Yeah, and obviously I never even applied for the show. So I've never thought in a million years I'll be on TV. I got a message saying, do you want to go on Married at First Sight? I was like, yeah, right then. Next thing, I'm standing at the altar. So it was mind blowing to me to talk to people, and I was like, no way. And then he said yeah, I went on Take Me Out, and I was like, no, did you get a date? And he went, yeah, and I went, did ya? And it was automatic. And then he was like, yeah, and then
I wish I was there. To be fair though, I don't fully blame you why you were so shocked like that, given what we're seeing. Because, and there's a bit of tea, that commitment ceremony where he held Lara against the will. Yeah. And he sang to the experts, which people didn't see. He sang a song because he wanted a Christmas #1. That's what he wanted from MAFS, Christmas #1. And then he did this really, really dramatic pause. Do you remember the dramatic pause? And we all thought, is he okay?
Yeah.
Do someone need to get him some assistance?
Yeah.
And then he turned around to Jordan and was like, did you see that pause, mate? Did you see that pause? TV gold. And then that's when I'm like, I'm out here trying to get a husband. You're out here trying to get a Christmas #1. We ain't on the same page.
But didn't quite me beat him to it. It's my dick long lock placenta. Let me put it in your denture.
Oh my God, no.
Them lyrics, Kwame, if you're watching this, you're a dirty, dirty boy, okay?
Oh, I mean, the shock value. Like, oh Lord, I hope your mum didn't listen to that song.
Good Lord.
Oh dear. Yeah, so sorry Richie, Kwame's beat you to it. Maybe we can do a remix and then Richie comes with his guitar. Take long that placenta.
Let me hold it in your denture.
Let me plant a seed in ya.
I know the dying time that you bleed. Let me plant my seed.
You know what? I'm kind of impressed but weirded out that you know the lyrics.
Man, I rap it to myself in the mirror every day. I dig long like placenta. Let me hold it in your denture.
Fuck. Yeah. Anyway.
Where were we? So this
digress.
is perception. So this is basically like, I think.
How do we go from dick and placenta to basically right?
So we're talking about how it goes from how we viewed it to how the TV. Because really, you've got our perception on what went down with other couples. Then you've got the TV show. And how it looks, and then you've got the truth. Because that's actually 3 different things. Because what we're seeing is just from an outsider point of view, what couples want us to see. So how April and George talked about the business indoors, Keisha and Kwame's dynamics were completely different. The cameras are all up in people's grills, video and everything, and we could have gotten real insights. However, they edit it to make a story because it's a TV show. So actually, none of us really know what happened in the couples.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? We've all got our own views.
And like people in the public have said like, why'd you get like, someone was hating on me the other day like, oh, you made comments on the couch and you do this. Yeah, because we get asked. Yeah. We get asked by experts, what's your opinion? Like, we get it. And also, we ain't got nothing fucking better to do.
This is the thing.
We're locked up in an experiment. We're all we know is each other, and we get asked constantly about other people. Yeah. So yeah, that's why we have an opinion on each other.
People like, how do you feel about that? Well, how do you feel about April and George? How do you feel about Keisha and Kwame?
Yeah,
like,
what did you think
well,
to that?
I kind of feel like this, and then people are like, oh, why are you giving your opinion on everything? You're like, well, because I got asked a fucking question, dickhead.
Yeah, I'm in the experiment, just like they've got an opinion on me.
Yeah.
Oh,
no one's saying anything when people are saying Zoe's an idiot. No one's saying anything then, are they?
Oh God, honestly. And I suppose that leads then on to after the show. So the show's aired, it's done, you know, I'll say quickly, it's hard as well. Obviously, it would have been hard for you, but in a different sense of, obviously, you and Jenna are still together, but you can't really tell people you're still together. No. Whereas I was posting pictures, obviously, for the show, and some of the pictures I just genuinely loved, and there were great memories. But it was also a constant reminder that I had no husband.
Yeah.
That actually I didn't get out of the show what I wanted in the sense of love. So it's like people are watching this relationship blossom and all this greatness and saying all these lovely kind words and being really supportive, and I'm just there like hurting in the background and I can't say anything. So that was difficult in that sense. And then obviously it comes out the truth, and I suppose that's nice because you're like, yeah, me and Jenna, and you can post each other because you can't post each other before. And then everyone knows that me and Jordan aren't together, which that comes with a lot of questions in itself. What's happened? And also, like, the relationship, say, like, with me and Jordan, I think the public then, because it changed in the sense of, obviously, people weren't too happy with how I was treated. And neither was I. So I think that kind of divided me and Jordan a little bit, because if people were supportive of me, kind of saw that as an attack on him. And don't get me wrong, he did have some not nice messages, as we all have, but he did have some not nice messages, which I don't condone. But then I think he kind of attached me with that also. So it's like a negative attachment to me.
I think it's, you know, it's difficult for, you know, if me and Jenna split up now, it would be a thing. And so that's like, everyone's got their opinion on, you know, why something hasn't worked and what, and so it's frustrating. I suppose, like, you know, if me and Jenna had split up and, you know, obviously, that in putting myself in Jordan's shoes, it's the fact that everybody does have an opinion. And regardless of whether or not you're saying Jordan's this, Jordan's that, people are then saying horrible shit, aren't they? So I suppose it's just dealing with that, which must be hard. And if I think about after the show, myself included, everybody at some point has been in an extremely dark place. I went in a really, really dark place at one point for a good few weeks. You did. I'm not really going to air anyone's business, but I know of at least 4 other people that, you know, the thought has kind of crossed my mind where you are thrown into the public eye, and people can be so horrible, and there's a lot of stuff that goes down there. The thought has genuinely crossed my mind of like, am I going to have to go to someone's funeral here? Because I can't deal with what's going on and everybody sending them horrible messages and there's so much pressure and you're all over the papers and there's all this. When in reality, like, none of it really matters. No. And it's affecting your mental health, and the impact that this has on people's mental health is like, can be so bad. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the people that you were your bestest friends and your family before all of this happened understand you, they understand how you work, they understand everything about you, and then all of these new people like all of you lot from MAFS and have come into my life specifically. You all understand that process. But you haven't been in my life and you don't know me inside out like my family friends do. So the people that do know you like inside out can't understand because they haven't been through it. And the people that have been through it don't understand you inside out. So all of a sudden, you're in a very vulnerable, lonely place.
Yeah.
And it can quickly go very dark because people don't understand.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what people don't understand. And that's what people aren't briefed for.
Yeah.
And so that if anyone's watching this that is going into something like that, I think that there needs to be more preparation for that.
Yeah, and have you support network. God. And have you
made you
support...
cry?
It's emotional. No, you're right though. Not to take away from that at all. And I'm just choking. And that's what's hard because we know, God bless their souls, people that have taken their lives from reality TV. And you are right, it is difficult. There's no way to prepare for it.
No
matter how much you do try, you can't. And I suppose that's why you have to be there for each other. And like you say, be prepared, but get your support network. Have someone that you truly, can speak to, be open with, and be honest. And do you know what as well? There's a flip side to that is because of that, it can also, because you know that side and because you know public perception and trolls, it can sometimes make you feel that you can't speak your truth.
Yeah.
So there's been, when me and Jordan, obviously it come out being me and Jordan, I didn't really speak out about it. I didn't speak about like how I really felt and things like that because he'd had some hate. I didn't in any way, shape or form want to ignite that or look like I was for it. So it started to lead to me actually feeling like I couldn't speak about it.
Yeah.
And then I, again, putting Jordan's feelings first. And I didn't want him to feel a type of way. And then say I made a joke one day like, my husband left me. And he was upset that I'd made that joke, further reiterating that I couldn't really speak about it.
Yeah.
So then I felt the pressure of, well, I want to speak my truth because actually there's loads of women that get treated like that. Not just women, guys, anybody gets gone through that experience. I want to be able to say, oh, this is how I felt. I didn't like this, but actually I've learnt this from this situation.
Yeah.
And I felt like I couldn't because I was so mindful of trolls, how Jordan's going to react, how Jordan's going to be. So it's like, it's so many different elements, your mental health. Some people don't give a shit, let's face it. They will say whatever. They don't care about what they're saying to the media or outlets and how that will impact someone else. But we're not like that. So it's like your mental health, how you could impact someone else if you do say something.
Yeah.
Because I'm in a low place, I don't want someone else to be in a low place. So there's all these different factors that you're juggling.
Yeah.
And then people know who you are now. And don't get me wrong, there was like, I've had some trolling, you've had some trolling, some people have had it worse. But then there's also been a lot of love and a lot of support, and I've had people hug me in the street. Like, the kind messages I receive have like reduced me to tears at times because I'm just like, oh my God, this person has actually took the time out of the day to say this. And I'm forever grateful for that because I think then that helps balance it a bit more.
Yeah, I think it's a shame really, like I've said this before, that you can have like, there is no doubt about it, the love that I got was outweighed by the negative things that people said. But for every and I don't know why it works like this, you can have 100 lovely messages and then you can get someone that sends you a really shitty, horrible, abusive, in my case homophobic, disgusting message. And that's the one that you can't get out your head, and it's so annoying that's the way it is. But like the impact when I don't know whether or not these people think that you don't read them. I mean, I'd blocked someone before and then they were like, they messaged me and I was like, oh, you thought you could get rid of me? I'm like, wow. Like,
and also, why are you going to them efforts?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know me, you've seen me on the TV.
Yeah.
Okay, you may not like me, that's fine. We all go through life and we don't like people. But what made you think you're going to come with this vileness to the point they've said it, you've looked at it, you've blocked it, and then they're like, hi, I'm back. Like, what are you doing? Go find something else to do. Go play Scrabble for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? Something. What, like, that's what makes me, that's been very, like, mind-blowing. Like, why do you feel the need to come and say that? Like, because in my mind, I've watched people on TV and think, oh, You're like a right dickhead.
Yeah. What a knob. I'd hate them, I would. Well, you don't say. I'm texting them. I just think, I wouldn't. Like some people, you think dick. But then you're not. I'm not going to go on Instagram, text them, dick.
Yeah, you are an absolute dick. You're this, you're that.
Yeah,
you don't know me, bro.
No, exactly. You just see a snippet of me, who I am.
And it's like, even the other day, and it wasn't hateful. Like, I don't think she was being that nasty. But she wrote on my picture, this woman. And she's like, it was a picture of just me laughing, and like, I was at this hotel. It was a great hotel. And she was like, Chanita, you was lovely on MAFS, but this fakeness and this life isn't you. Like, don't lose yourself and all of this. And I'm like, whoa, hold up. It took, because it's been a while. It did take me a second, and I was a bit like, oh, do people think that? But then I thought, no, I've always been a party girl. You couldn't see me partying because we were literally locked up in an apartment and not allowed out. And also, I am still lovely. I've not changed one bit. I'm very much still me. But can't I be lovely and still live my life? Like, I did say to her, I said, I've had a crap few years. Like, I'm just trying to live my life. Like, make the best out of a shitty situation. That doesn't take away all my good values or points. You're just seeing a different side. Yeah. And that's what people have to understand. Like, what you see in TV, yes, that's us, but that can only be sometimes a little part of us. Like, we've got so much more to us.
Yeah. So, what are our lives like now?
I'm very much bloody single, so if you're out there, hey!
Chanita's single, ready to mingle.
Definitely, bloody hell, it's been a while.
I mean, my life is like pretty much the same.
Happily
like,
married.
You get like you get certain opportunities and stuff. You know, we did the partnership with Asda and stuff. That are
mind-blowing though, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely crackers. Like walking around Asda and your voice is on the tunnel. It's like the most bizarre experience. Obviously, the OK Mag. We're in Diva magazine, which is just like the most. It's
like having opportunities you've never, like, I've like done The Rain, Good Morning Britain, Steps Pat Lunch, been on live TV chatting and debating, like, what the hell? And like I say, the brand deals that come in, it's crazy. Like, you've obviously still doing your full-time job alongside everything. I've took a break from social work just because it's not going, like being a child protection social worker and then being like, hey, this, that, and the other, or being on TV.
And this
doesn't go hand in hand.
And the whole thing with like the things that you have to do and the opportunities that you're given, you can't do them if you're working full time. You can't. So like it's a completely to like seize these opportunities for anybody that's in full time in full time work but you know it's you can fill your time easily with all of the stuff and like the events and stuff that you go to and that.
Yeah, like the people and opportunities, like the people I've got to meet and the opportunities I've had, like, honestly, like, don't get me wrong, I didn't get what I wanted. I went into MAFS for my husband, I didn't get what I wanted, but I got amazing memories. I made the bestest of friends, and I learned a lot about myself, which I'll be eternally grateful for. And I didn't get a husband, but now I've got a platform where I can utilise that to help people in a complete different way. So, like, obviously you. You got the wife, you got the job, it's worked out really well for you, which is lovely to see. Like, it's so nice, and I'm glad because somebody had to bloody walk out there with a fucking partner, didn't they?
Well, carrying on working full time is just like, to be honest, made me a bit bad because it's too much to try and do it all. So I think you have to make a few decisions on what opportunities that you take and what you don't. And my priority has always been to work. And when I signed up to MAFS, I said it from the first day that I went to renewals, I'm not giving up my job. And I'm kind of glad that I haven't because, I'll just,
it gives you that normality, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
And I suppose we was one big dysfunctional family in MAFS, like, big arguments, and relationships. Now they're very much tethered. A lot of people don't speak to each other. I'm sure on social media you've seen how people feel about each other.
And to be honest, like, the Tom situation, for example, let's just go through them quickly. So we've got the Gemma situation. I know that when we did our OK Mag, she kicked off about that. So that's pretty simple, really. She shouldn't have jumped, in my opinion. If she had an issue with something that I said, when you know how things can get twisted in interviews, She should have reached out to me before. I just got loads of messages from loads of people saying, have you checked in on Gemma? I just thought they got Jenna's name wrong, because people call Jenna all the time. I was like, what's going on? So then I messaged her and I was like, in my opinion, you need to fucking message me before. And so she ended up taking it down. But a lot of people have asked me about that. Me and Gemma are absolutely fine now. Yeah. What I said, I didn't mean it in the way that she said. I wasn't saying that she had a problem with it, the edit, and it wasn't warranted. You know, I'm sure that Matt made a lot of innuendos and stuff. You know, she was done dirty really on the edit. The Tom situation, I said it all on the Instagram story. I spoke my truth there and then. I haven't spoken to Tom since, and I've got nothing to say to him. It's a shame really, because I got on with him really well.
You know what? I'd say Tom's situation is one of the biggest shames from it, because Tom is hilarious. He's very witty, he's quick thinking, and he can be a joy to be around.
I love Tom, and I thought he was going to be in my life forever.
I thought I'd have a really good relationship with Tom. We went out on nights out after. We'd speak a lot. I'd invited him to my birthday. He didn't want to come because he'd fallen out of Adrian, and then obviously this big fallout happened. So I often think that is one of the biggest shames, because Tom has got such good qualities of him, but then he's just let himself down with that situation.
Yeah, but you know, it is. And apart from that, there's not a single person really. Obviously, I've spoken to Matt. I have no issue with Whitney. But from my point of view, I haven't got any issues with anyone.
No.
I speak to the people that I want to speak to, and if you don't enhance my life, then I'm not. You know, I don't really have no real interest in having a relationship.
I've not really had any, obviously, other than the Tom fallout. I've actually, not had any bust-ups with anyone as such. Like, I said it at the time, I very much wanted to keep in contact with as much people as I could, because we're the only ones that went through that experience. I mean, bar Richie, but everyone else, we've gone through this experience. You've all brought something to my life, and I really wanted to keep that, but I think that was me being naive and wishful thinking, because as soon as that experiment ended, things happened left, right and centre. So like you say, the people that we've made the true, genuine friendships with and actually make effort with you and actually care about your well-being, and that are the ones that are still very much in our lives. And that's life, isn't it?
That's life. So that's it.
Yeah. Jinx. That is our final episode for this season, and hopefully we covered everything.
Hopefully.
There were so many questions.
A lot of questions.
And do you know what's funny? We've done all that talking and there's still so much more we could have said.
I know.
But it's been great. Obviously, I don't know how to end it. Usually I'm like, watch the next episode. Yeah,
well, we don't really know what's going to come up, do we, yet at the moment. We've obviously got this platform that we are potentially going to pick back up. So I mean, there's some exciting opportunities potentially coming up for Chanita, and I mean, stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have some cool stuff coming up. Yeah, definitely. And obviously you're gonna see us. We just wanted to keep it quite compact, give you the tea around the Christmas app, you know, MAFS beginning, during and end, and then watch this space. We'll probably be back. Yeah, man. Peace.
Bye.